Okay, welcome back to the lab. I'm TRANSTORMERS, and today we're just going to be doing a quick unboxing test possible repair of a for parts not working, doesn't power on Fluke 77.3. Bought this from a cell phone sort of dealer, as you can see here, and they put on a restricted electronic device for ground transport only sticker. That is completely incorrect because, of course, multimeters, do not use lithium batteries. They usually use a 9-volt just alkaline cell normally. Anyway, let's dive into this one here, see what's wrong with it, see if we can fix it. Most likely, I'm betting I'll just be able to be like, wake up and it'll just live. It does have a little bit of damage to the rightmost part of its screen. This is our, classic paperweight we got from a Hamfest a freaking decade ago. And this is a sort of interesting other sort of parts one here. The screen does work, but has a lot of leaking pixel from the right-hand side. And it's, someone tried to wide Putin it for some reason. So I'm thinking we'll take this screen, repair our paperweight with it, and then maybe put in this screen in this one, or just order a completely new one for it, depending if we're able to use any parts from this. So let's dive in and see what's up. Seems like it's packed pretty well. We've got some air pack, we've got our receipt, we then have the meter nice and bubble wrapped like this. I'm just going to set the box aside for now, and let's have a look at the rest of the meter. Okay. Yeah, so see what I mean about the sort of leaking liquid crystal coming in from the right hand side. That is not that much, probably only about, what is that, like 3-4% or so. I wouldn't think that would stop the screen from working when we have better examples like this one here, which all segments still do actually work even with that amount of leaking pixel there. So we'll see, unless it has some other underlying issue. And for reference on part 2, you might not have seen this yet, I might just do this all in one video when we get new parts. This one here, we did actually resurrect. It does drive the screen properly, but the whole input side is basically toast. So depending if this one's actually dead for some other reason that didn't take the input side, we can steal those parts for this one, or we can just wait for our new parts to get here. Either way. Let's go ahead and see. Does it power on? It powers on. Why? It doesn't even need a new battery. The part's not working, doesn't power on. Apparently all you have to do with like either Fluke or BK multimeters, just, command them to wake up. And then they're just alive. Well, this is a hilariously fast repair video. Anyway, let's just verify that everything's sort of working okay. So, for instance, voltage AC, we should see a little bit of a floating value there. That's fine. Let's jam it into an outlet here. Yep, that's pretty accurate. Let's see what this says. Yeah, for not true RMS, yeah, it's close. So that works. Let's do voltage DC. Just gonna come over here, and we're gonna take our new DMM Check Plus R8. We'll verify functions with this here. And I'm just going to probe things as they are here. So this should be 5 volts. Probes are a little bit bent, but this should be 5 volts DC, 4.99, perfectly within spec. We'll go ahead and switch this over to AC. And this is not a true RMS meter, so this should read like 5.55 ideally for the frequency this is at. And it does, so that's perfectly accurate and within cal. Okay, that's Remember, it's a 0.5% class meter, or actually the Series 3 is 0.3%, but that's still well within spec. That is great. Let's go ahead and see if it's... Oh, it's got a label at the back. Oh, and it's got Metrol Systems Incorporated, CAL'd in 99, due in 2000. Calibration void if removed. That's bullshit because you have to open the case to change your battery. Technitool, 5 Apollo Road, Pennsylvania. Okay. Weird. Very strange. That screw's not in all the way. Anyways, what I was going to test here, and these are actual Fluke leads. They look a bit worn, and we'll have to bend them back. And I believe these are the Cat 3 1000 volts. They look like the older TL 75s, maybe. Anyway, let's test our AC current. So if we come over here, this should be as close to like 1 milliamp, but it'll show as like 1.11, ideally. Yep, because of the frequency, and not being true RMS. That is perfect. Perfectly accurate. Let's go ahead and switch this over to DC again. And this should show exactly 1 milliamp for our current source here. 0.99. That's within spec. Only one count out. And that's interesting. Let's go ahead and see. Ohms range doesn't look like it's doing any wonky shit like over here. Oh, that doesn't have a screen in it, so I can't show you. Point is, if the input side was damaged, usually the MOVs would make your reading show up as a low impedance. So like it would have, it would start out at like, 2 million ohms, say, and just take its way up to like infinity almost, but not infinity. It'd stop somewhere usually around 20k, or 20 million. We're not even on the right plugs. Ugh, also very dirty. Anyway, let's see if we short our inputs. There we do. Nice. Okay, let's go over to diode test mode. Piezo's nice and strong. Let's see if we can manually switch our ranges. Yep. Okay. See if we can hold. All buttons seem to be working. Millivolt range seems fine. Ohms range is fine. Let's go ahead and check the calibration on our ohms range, so we know that our leads itself are about 0.2. If I actually touch them properly here, 0.2 to 0.3 ohm. That's about normal for Fluke leads. So what I'm going to do now is come over here and measure our sort of high precision test resistors. This should be 100 ohm. 99.9, one count out. That's very good still. This should be 1000. Bang on. Perfect. This should be 10,000. Perfect. This should be 100,000. And that's perfect. Nice. Okay, well, that literally passes, if you look up the margins, of course, for 0.3%, that passes everything and is still in calibration. Well, it doesn't look like I'm going to be harvesting any parts from this one. There is one more thing that we should check, though, and that's going to be current on the 10 amp side, so we'll just do that fast here. So how I'm going to do that is just a really janky way here. Don't do this, but I will, because lol. So what we're going to do is we're going to turn on our power supply here. We're going to take some cables from that power supply, and we're going to go ahead and plug them into our dummy load here, or I mean our electronic load. So for instance, we are having our power supply output 10 volts roughly there. We're going to set our dummy load to be like, say, yeah, so let's do current set, and let's go for, let's go for like 500 milliamp. And then we'll go ahead and turn our current draw on. We'll make sure that we're able to output some current here. Go. So we have quite a bit of voltage drop going on here, as you can see. However, 0.5 of an amp, 0.5 of an amp, so that is well within our current spec on DC here. Let's go ahead and increase this here and see sort of what we can do here. So let's go up to 2 amp, which I believe is the standard that Fluke tests at there. And look at that, bang on 2 amp. This thing is perfectly accurate. Well, okay, I'll go ahead and disconnect our load here because we don't need to do this anymore. Where? That. Just another, sorry for a boring video this week, but that helps me because, well, I mean, not much to edit here. Actually, welcome back. Really quick ending segment here, since we can't end it there. We violated the rules of don't turn it on, take it apart, and clearly took it apart, turned it on and tested everything before that. So let's open it up and just see if we see any visible damage before we call this a proper repair, because that is, it could have water damage, it could have a lot of different things sort of wrong with that there. So I'll just speed this up here and we'll get into it and see what it looks like. Make sure it's using the correct, HRC ceramic fuses and such. They're ferrous screws. Okay. Now we should be able to separate the case here. Let's see. Well, that fuse, okay, see, and that's why we take things apart, because that fuse is literally just flopping around. That is the correct fuse. It is a Bussmann DMM11, so 11 amp 600 volt fuse, HRC. And then we have, that's upside down, but that is also the correct fuse. That is a Bussmann DMM 44-100, so 440 milliamp. Our battery here is from 2012 and is an Energizer and has not leaked because it's not a Duracell, so that's cool. Let's go ahead and have a peep at whatever the hell this one says. Let's bring over a different Fluke here, just to be in the spirit of things. Oh god, can you see that at the same time? Probably barely not. Let's see. Okay. I'll just tell you what it says, basically. So, $7.89. Yeah, this needs a new battery. We'll get a new battery in it. Yep, 7.89 volts. I'm surprised it's that accurate all the way down at 7.89. It's pretty impressive. So, without taking everything else apart, I don't see any liquid damage really anywhere, just a little bit of dust. Through the holes, everything does look good. Its little cowl pot there looks pretty good. So basically the only issue we have is these are way too bent, and we just need to kind of squeeze them back a little bit here. That way we can actually, get the fuse to stay in. So I'm just gonna do that by hand here, just a little bit, and make sure that that fuse stays nice and snug in there. And yeah, there we go. That ain't coming out now. Don't know why that was so overbent there, but one thing I will do here, just because that's annoying the hell out of me, we're going to pop this one out, and then we're going to make sure that is, let's see, what can I use to pop it out here without wrecking everything? This random arced bleed. Whoa! That fuse is gone! Okay, welcome back. Edit that out. Lol. Here's the fuse out of it. This one also feels quite loose, like it came out of there a little bit too easy. And yeah, this is a Bussmann DMM 144, so that is totally fine. Let's go ahead and meter it, even though we really, really do not need to here. It is fine, because we did all of our current tests. And the board looks nice and clean through that. I'm just going to do the same thing I did on the other one here, and just bend these terminals back just by hand here, just a little bit. Not too much, just to make sure that it's going to seat the fuse. Just like that. Should look more like that, pretty much. Now let's go ahead, because pushing this in will resize it. There we go. Those look nice. Don't know previous tech or cal shop or whatever just overbent them, or if it's just over age. I haven't seen any other ones that loose though, so that's a little interesting. But anyway, I don't think we're gonna steal shit from this one, because, or we might. We might put this. We'll come back to this later and get a brand new screen for it since it's nice, and then maybe put this screen in the wide Putin one, and then take that screen and put that one in that one, or we'll just leave it as is, and we might do that. Who knows? Anyways, and you shouldn't do this here. You should actually line up your buttons, because they have little spaces, little holes that it goes in. And then we'll just go ahead and clip our case back together here. And we got a happy meter! Yay! That is a totally repaired by just, you know, bending a contact, waving our hands over it, and completely within calibration, still from 99. Holy shit. Yeah. Wow. Nice. But do stick around, because we do have some very interesting videos to shoot here. So we're going to be repairing. It's going to be a freaking roller coaster for this one, trust me. But it'll be alive, and we'll cal it, and everything will be good, hopefully. We'll have to stick around to see. We do have a few more upcoming very interesting things. I'll do like a show of all the new gear we have here. We got some massive upgrades, and then also we're going to be doing a pocket meter extravaganza roundup shootout 2024, testing basically every current production pocket meter that you can still buy. So that's going to be very interesting. And it did cost a lot more than expected to get a hold of everything, but it'll definitely be worth it. And we might even give some away if they live and pass their pass the category tests that we have lined up for them. Some brands definitely will, like the good ones, but don't know about some of the cheapies. We've got tons of meters, like freaking, I can't, we wouldn't even be able to fit them all in the thumbnail, trust me. It'll be a hell of a video, stick around, and thanks for watching.